afternoon, everyone. My name is Samuel Vilches Santiago. I'm the chair of the Orange County Democratic Party, and we are excited to be here as Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost launches his re-election campaign. See, Central Floridians make history just 2 years ago when we elected Maxwell Frost to Congress, becoming the first Gen Z member of Congress, as well as the first Afro-Latino to be elected to Congress. When we elected him, we didn't just elect Maxwell. We elected a vision for Central Florida, for the state of Florida, and for our country. And that is a vision that includes all of us. It includes the people who have been bullied in this state by our legislature and by our governor. LGBTQ Floridians who've been at the front line of our fights here locally and statewide. Immigrants, women, BIPOC communities that have continuously been targeted, young people, labor unions and workers, our teachers, and even our veterans. It is a vision that includes fighting for every single American so that they can accomplish their own American dream. And for us, it is a pleasure to be here, standing behind Congressman Frost as he runs to make history as the first Gen Z member of Congress re-elected in November. And see, when we elected Congressman Frost, we also elected an organizing vision for our community. And we work closely together with Team Frost to make sure that we not only elect good people to our federal government, but also up and down the ballot. And right here in Central Florida, just a few months ago, because of Congressman Frost and the work that everyone put, we were able to flip a seat that went for Ron DeSantis by 12 points and elect Tom Keene as our state representative in House District 35. And it took every single person working together, but we wouldn't have been able to do it without Congressman Frost's leadership. And we're going to do exactly the same thing in November. It is not about any one person, but about the vision he carries into our Congress. Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Thank you. I'm Mayor Buddy Dyer. Welcome to Orlando. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be here, quite honestly. I always love being in this Union Hall. This hall is the first labor endorsement that I received back in 1992 when I ran for Florida Senate. And I got my latest labor endorsement right at that table during the last mayor's race. So this is a special place for me and so many different activities and things that have occurred in this room over the years. And this is one of the most important ones. So 2 years ago, I bet a lot of people didn't know who Maxwell Frost was. And I will concede that I did not know Maxwell Frost. But he was in a campaign, a tough campaign with, I don't remember, 7 or 8 highly qualified candidates running for an open seat. There were 2 former congresspeople in that race, a number of other high-profile Democrats, and he was able to get his message out, and the voters responded and elected him to be the youngest member of Congress. And he has performed. He has been one of the, being the youngest doesn't mean he can't be one of the most effective, and he has been one of the most effective members of Congress, certainly on a local level. Over the course of 2 years, we have 15 projects that total about $12 million that he has helped us receive either through earmarks or other grant funding. And that's a huge number to come through that budget. That includes $1 million of funding for Harrelson Estates, and that's about infrastructure equity. Harrelson Estates is a place that has flooded and has issues that the money we're receiving from the federal government, thanks to Congressman Frost, is helping us make better. Grand Avenue Elementary has a new CVI center that was funded with $750,000 that Congressman Frost got us, and another $1.5 million and a CVI grant for the program, which is important as we look at how do we divert people from crime, not just enforce after the fact. So another important aspect. And then I think maybe the most important thing I think that he has done, other than just be very talented and play great music, is he filed a bill that became an executive order of the president to create the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. And it is the very first federal office that is devoted to that serious issue. And to be able to, in your freshman year, get the president to execute an executive order takes some influence and some strategy, I suspect, and some perseverance, all of those things. So we look forward to the future with continued partnerships in eradicating gun violence, in transportation equity. We're talking with Congressman Frost and his office every day about Sunrail and the expansion to the airport. So we look to bright and refreshing leadership from Congressman Frost the next 2 years and many years in the future. And I'm proud to stand here and endorse Congressman Maxwell Frost for re-election. And now I want to call on our District 6 Commissioner, Bakari Burns.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. As Mayor mentioned, my name is Bakari Burns, and I have the pleasure of serving as the City of Orlando Commissioner for District 6. And I stand here this afternoon to express my unwavering support for the re-election of our Congressman, Maxwell Alejandro Frost. I can think back to the first time that I met Maxwell, Congressman Frost. We were sitting at a local restaurant, and he expressed to me why he was running, what he wanted to do, and how he was going to do it. And I remember after we finished that conversation, there was something that came over me that said, when he wins, he's going to be not just a regular politician, but he's going to be a true public servant. And I think he has expressed that. In these turbulent times, it is more important than ever to have leaders who truly listen to the voices of the people, who understand the needs and concerns of the community, and who are willing to roll up their sleeves and get things done. Maxwell Frost is such a leader. He has shown time and time again that he is not only willing to listen to our concerns, but also take action to address them. One shining example of Congressman Frost's dedication to our community is his success in securing federal funding that Mayor Dyer just mentioned for our city of Orlando. By working tirelessly and advocating on our behalf, he has been able to bring home much-needed resources to our community, helping to improve the lives of countless individuals and families. His commitment to securing vital funding for vital programs and initiatives is unmatched, and his track record speaks for itself. Moreover, let us not forget Congressman Frost's groundbreaking achievement of establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the United States government. In a time when gun violence plagues our nation and especially my district, Maxwell Frost took bold and decisive action to address these issues. He also secured funding for gun violence prevention here locally, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to keeping our community safe and protecting our loved ones. I'm excited about Maxwell's leadership and his visions for the future. His dedication to our community, his track record of success, and his unwavering commitment to serving the people make him the clear choice for re-election. We need Maxwell Frost in Congress to continue fighting for Orlando and Florida in general, to continue securing those federal grants and dollars and the resources that are needed to, again, combat the gun violence issue that we have, not just in District 6, but throughout our city. I urge you to stand with me in supporting Maxwell Alejandro Frost for re-election. Let us come together, united in our belief in a better future, and let us stand and send a strong message that we stand behind a leader who listens, serves, and delivers results. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow for us all. Thank you. Now I have the pleasure
I'm
of
Jasmine Bernie Clark. I am the state director of the Biden for Florida campaign, and it is so great to be here with you all today. Thank you. I am proud to be here and to stand with Congressman Frost, who has been a huge partner to the Biden campaign and a huge factor in flipping Florida blue. Congressman Frost has been not only a great congressman, but he's been a congressman of consciousness, a congressman of courage, and a congressman of this community. And Congressman Frost has also done something that has been pretty remarkable since he entered the halls of Congress. He has voted for one of the largest investments in climate change in our community, and he has created the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which is currently being led by our Vice President, Kamala Harris. Congressman Frost has been working extremely hard to fight back against an unpopular extremist agenda in this state as well. Yes. Under Trump's leadership, Florida Republicans have created book bans, don't say gay, voter suppression laws, and have prohibited our community from accessing vital care and services that they need when it comes to abortion. And Congressman Frost has been standing up for Floridians all the way along. In addition to that, Congressman Frost has been an inspiration, particularly inspiring young folks to take a new level of leadership in their own personal civic engagement. And we commend him greatly for that. This coming November, Congressman Frost and President Joe Biden are going to need you all to vote, to knock on doors, to make phone calls, to donate, and to have conversations with your friends and family across this state, because we are going to need the both of them in order to flip Florida blue. Thank you and have a great day. Next, I'd like to bring up for you all Rhea.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Rhea Minyar and I'm the chair of the Florida High School Democrats, and I'm also a high school senior right here in Orlando. I'm here to attest to why Representative Frost's work to fight book bans and preserve educational freedom is so important, especially here in Florida. Over the past year, students like me have witnessed a disturbing trend unfolding in our schools. Censorship is rampant, depriving elementary, middle, and high schoolers of access to diverse perspectives, opportunities for critical thinking, and the exploration of complex and nuanced issues. In a state ranked dead last for teacher pay, our governor has decided to focus on picture books rather than improving public school facilities and raising teacher pay to deliver a quality Florida public school education. Yeah. Because of his culture wars and crusades, Florida now ranks first in the amount of books we've had taken off our shelves. With over 3,000 books now banned from school bookshelves in the past year alone, we are witnessing a systematic erasure of voices, disproportionately ones of the LGBTQIA+ community, the Black community, the brown community. This is not just an attack on literature, it's an attack on students' ability to engage critically with the world around them, to confront uncomfortable truths about our history and our past, and to access a well-rounded education with diverse perspectives and voices. The Fight Book Bans Act represents a bold and necessary step towards reclaiming our schools from censorship. By providing school districts with the resources they need to combat challenges to educational materials, this legislation gives public schools the tools they need to fight back and advocate for students like me who deserve access to a better education and uncensored history. The Florida High School Democrats have 40 chapters in public, private, and charter schools across the state, and our student members are seeing and experiencing the damaging effects of book bans. Our high school seniors are worried and anxious about their potential employers' view on their Florida education and how it's going to impact their future. This state owes students transparency, fairness, and an equitable education. So we couldn't be more grateful for Representative Frost's work to stand up for Florida students and filing this bill, and we are so excited and honored to support him in his re-election campaign. Thank you. Next up is Eric Grimmer from YIMBY.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Grimmer, and I am a chapter lead with Orlando YIMBY, which stands for Yes in My Backyard. We are a pro-housing advocacy organization that advocates for housing abundance to address our nationwide housing affordability crisis that is primarily driven between an imbalance between supply and demand of homes. We also support robust investment in a diverse set of and sustainable transportation options to help us break the cycle of car dependence that is devastating to our environment and bankrupting our cities and its residents. links, Sunrail, the Sunshine Corridor, sidewalks, bike lanes, all things that we support. A modern multimodal transportation system befitting of the growing metropolitan county in which I want to reside. When we talk about Maxwell at YIMBY, we like to say, well, maybe brag, that he was a YIMBY before he was a congressman. Yes. Ever since our inception in March of 2020, Maxwell has been there, attending our meetings, supporting us, encouraging us. When he was running for Congress, he was still there, championing our causes. Since he's been in Congress, when he arguably has more important things to do on a Saturday morning than go for a bike ride with a bunch of urbanist nerds, he's still there, because that's what makes him special. He has never and will never forget his roots, the people and organizations that have supported him, and who he has supported along the way. And as a member of Congress, Maxwell continues to champion causes at the core of our mission: housing abundance and affordability, expansion of public transit, protection of the environment through principles of smart growth. And that is why he had our support in 2022, and why we'll help him get re-elected in 2024. At Orlando YIMBY, we envision a Central Florida that has a diverse set of housing affordability options, multiple safe and convenient choices to get around the county, and a more sustainable way of life. We look at Maxwell and we also see the future. Not just for his support for our principles, but everything that makes him him. His passion, his enthusiasm, his tireless work effort, his ability to inspire others. We see that inspiration all around us. High school and college students getting involved in their communities, working hard to make Orange County a more affordable and better place to live. Can we say for sure that this is the Maxwell Frost effect? No, but I doubt it's a coincidence. He certainly opened our minds to what an elected official can be, where they come from, how old they are, what experience do they have, how do they think, how do they feel, how do they act. In our current time in the state of Florida and nationwide, things can get a little bleak, but Maxwell Frost has always been standing there as a beacon of hope, a glimpse of the future that could be, a brighter one. It is my honor to offer my support for the re-election of Maxwell Frost to Florida's 10th Congressional District in 2024. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce Florida State Representative Johanna Lopez.
I remember in 2020 when Maxwell gave me a call and he said, I want to talk to you about my story, you know, and when he was talking about his story, I feel very related, and he made me think about my students. ESO student, all the struggles that he were facing, but he keep going, being perseverance in his goals and achieve every single goal he had at that moment, and also talking about the abuelita. So I said, oh my God, even the importance of the abuelitas in our culture, for me, moved my heart. I said, okay, so talk to me about Abuela Yeya. So I think that everybody knows about Abuela Yeya, and I know we lost her, sadly, but he has amazing story with Abuela Yeya that also make me feel related to my mom that is 96 years old, and I'm still thinking about voting for Maxwell. Take me, and I want to vote for Maxwell, but Maxwell is not only for young people. Maxwell is also for young people, old people, seniors, LGBTQ+, women. He doesn't have any type of problem in engage with every culture. I was 2 days ago in Washington with a group of Puerto Ricans, and Maxwell took the time to open that door and talk to us about the issues of Puerto Rico. So I think that also Maxwell, as an Afro-Latina, I feel very, very honored to have somebody that not only understand my culture, but also struggle in the community and fight for the issues that are against our community. Mm-hmm. He demonstrated an outstanding leadership at a federal level and representing our voices against gun violence. Also in favor of reproductive rights, affordable housing, health care, LGBTQ+ rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also union accessibility, among others issues. Y es bien importante que le digan en español. For me, it's very important to say it in Spanish, that Latinos estamos con Maxwell. Yep. It's very important that I said that Maxwell represents us and understand the Latino issues. We not only have one issue, we have several issues, and he understands every single issues in our Latino community. He understands Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, Cuban, for name just a few. Y es bien importante que lo diga en español, que los latinos estamos con Maxwell. Porque Maxwell sí entiende la diversidad latina. Él no solo lleva un mensaje genérico y general de lo que es nuestra comunidad, sino que también conoce de manera individual cada uno de nuestros problemas y de nuestras oportunidades para crecer aquí en Florida Central. Estuvo en Puerto Rico. Y él sí entiende cuáles son los issues que tenemos en Puerto Rico. No es una persona que pregunta, ok, ¿y los puertorriqueños son ciudadanos americanos? Él sabe que somos ciudadanos americanos. Él sabe que lucimos diferente. Él sabe que nuestros problemas también son distintos. As an Afro-Latina, I'm proud to have Congressman Frost fighting for us in Washington. I know he's going to be outspoken and going to be very bold in defending our democracy and our freedom in the state of Florida, because we're losing democracy in the state of Florida. We're losing our freedom in the state of Florida. But he's not scared of what is happening here in the state of Florida. He's there to representing our voice in a very bold and without any type of fear and not behind any type of interest of big corporations. So I encourage everybody to re-elect Maxwell Alejandro Frost for a better Florida. Y a los latinos le digo, no hay mejor persona que te pueda representar en el estado de la Florida en contra de los abusos constantes y la falta de desconocimiento de nuestras comunidades latinas, que sea Maxwell Alejandro Frost. Así que espero que vayas conmigo y vamos a votar por Maxwell Alejandro Frost. En español. And now, Anna's here? Is Anna here?
Huh?
Is Anna here?
No. You can go to me.
Okay, so without any hesitation, everybody's waiting for this amazing speaker that is extremely good. He's better speaker than everybody in the state of Florida. Better than me, you are. So, sin más preámbulos, tenemos aquí con nosotros a Ana Escamani, my colega from Florida. I remember in 2020 when Maxwell gave me a call and he said, I want to talk to you about my story, and when he was talking about his story, I feel very related, and he made me think about my students. ESO student, all the struggles that he were facing, but he kept going, being perseverant in his goals and achieve every single goal he had at that moment, and also talking about the abuelita. So I said, oh my God, even the importance of the abuelitas in our culture, for me, moved my heart. I said, okay, so talk to me about Abuela Yeya. So I think that everybody knows about Abuela Yeya, and I know we lost her, sadly, but he has amazing story with Abuela Yeya that also make me feel related to my mom that is 96 years old and still thinking about voting for Maxwell. Take me, and I want to vote for Maxwell, but Maxwell is not only for young people. Maxwell is also for young people, old people, seniors, LGBTQ+, women. He doesn't have any type of problem in engage with every culture. I was 2 days ago in Washington with a group of Puerto Ricans, and Maxwell took the time to open that door and talk to us about the issues of Puerto Rico. So I think that also Maxwell, as an Afro-Latina, I feel very, very honored to have somebody that not only understand my culture, but also struggle in the community and fight for the issues that are against our community. He demonstrated an outstanding leadership at a federal level and representing our voices against gun violence. Also in favor of reproductive rights, affordable housing, health care, LGBTQ+ rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also union accessibility, among others issues. Y es bien importante que le digan en español. For me, it's very important to say it in Spanish that Latinos estamos con Maxwell. It's very important that I said that Maxwell represents us and understand the Latino issues. We not only have one issue, we have several issues, and he understands every single issues in our Latino community. He understands Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, Cuban, for name just a few. Y es bien importante que lo diga en español, que los latinos estamos con Maxwell. Porque Maxwell sí entiende la diversidad latina. Él no solo lleva un mensaje genérico y general de lo que es nuestra comunidad, sino que también conoce de manera individual cada uno de nuestros problemas y de nuestras oportunidades para crecer aquí en Florida Central. Estuvo en Puerto Rico. Y él sí entiende cuáles son los issues que tenemos en Puerto Rico. No es una persona que pregunta, ok, ¿y los puertorriqueños son ciudadanos americanos? Él sabe que somos ciudadanos americanos. Él sabe que lucimos diferente, él sabe que nuestros problemas también son distintos. As an Afro-Latina, I'm proud to have Congressman Frost fighting for us in Washington. I know he's going to be outspoken and going to be very bold in defending our democracy and our freedom in the state of Florida, because we're losing democracy in the state of Florida. We're losing our freedom in the state of Florida. But he's not scared of what is happening here in the state of Florida. He's there to representing our voice in a very bold and without any type of fear and not behind any type of interest of big corporations. So I encourage everybody to re-elect Maxwell Alejandro Frost for a better Florida. Y a los latinos le digo, no hay mejor persona que te pueda representar en el estado de la Florida en contra de los abusos constantes y la falta de desconocimiento de nuestras comunidades latinas, que sea Maxwell Alejandro Frost. Así que espero que vayas conmigo y vamos a votar por Maxwell Alejandro Frost. En español. And now, Anna's here? Is Anna here?
Huh?
Is Anna here?
No. You can go to me.
Okay, so without any hesitation, everybody's waiting for this amazing speaker that is extremely good. Is better speaker than everybody in the state of Florida. Better than me, you are. So, sin más preámbulos, tenemos aquí con nosotros a Ana Escamani, my colega from Florida. I remember in 2020 when Maxwell gave me a call and he said, I want to talk to you about my story, and when he was talking about his story, I feel very related, and he made me think about my students. ESO student, all the struggles that he were facing, but he kept going, being perseverant in his goals and achieve every single goal he had at that moment, and also talking about the abuelita. So I said, oh my God, even the importance of the abuelitas in our culture, for me, moved my heart. I said, okay, so talk to me about Abuela Yeya. So I think that everybody knows about Abuela Yeya, and I know we lost her, sadly, but he has amazing story with Abuela Yeya that also make me feel related to my mom that is 96 years old and still thinking about voting for Maxwell. Take me, and I want to vote for Maxwell, but Maxwell is not only for young people. Maxwell is also for young people, old people, seniors, LGBTQ+, women. He doesn't have any type of problem in engage with every culture. I was 2 days ago in Washington with a group of Puerto Ricans, and Maxwell took the time to open that door and talk to us about the issues of Puerto Rico. So I think that also Maxwell, as an Afro-Latina, I feel very, very honored to have somebody that not only understand my culture, but also struggle in the community and fight for the issues that are against our community. He demonstrated an outstanding leadership at a federal level and representing our voices at...
Hello. Wow. I am so excited to be here physically to support our Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost. Can we hear it for Congressman Frost? I am just getting a brief moment to see who is here, and I see such an incredible coalition of powerful, thoughtful, and impactful leaders here in Central Florida. We all know that Congressman Frost made history in becoming the first ever Gen Z member of Congress when he was elected last cycle. But that was only the beginning of his story. Since then, he has demonstrated such an incredible grit and grace in trying to find common ground, arguably during some of our country's most challenging times. And through all of that, centering his work in love, trying to create spaces for everyday people to know their power, to know their worth. I've attended several town halls the Congressman has hosted, and I'm just so incredibly grateful and impressed by how he navigates an environment that isn't always supportive, of how he hears feedback that for some may sting, but for him it leaves a positive mark that he can reflect on to try to address those issues with that constituent. He's helped bring money back to our district. He's helping to fund essential projects from gun violence prevention to affordable housing, those kitchen table issues that our fellow Americans need us to focus on. I can tell you that as a state representative, I'm so grateful to have a partner in my congressman, someone who I can call up immediately and say, hey, here's what's happening in the state legislature. How can we work together across our layers of government to solve problems for everyday people? The congressman is accessible. He is freaking brilliant in trying to bring together, these complex problems to find a solution that doesn't focus on him, but focuses on us. And candidly, when he was first running for office, a lot of folks asked me why I wasn't running for Congress. I mean, the districts had shifted. If folks remember, I was in CD7 and then I was in CD10. And I said, why would I do that? This is a young man that I have known for years in the community, doing work that so many people are scared to do, and he is building a trail for others to follow. And I do believe firmly that good leaders create new leaders and create room for others. And so with that said, I'm just so honored to continue my support and to endorse Congressman Maxwell Frost for his reelection, and I look forward to continue to see the history that you will make. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let me get a sip of water. Well, first off, I just want to thank all of our amazing speakers. Thank you to all the elected officials that we have here. School Board Member Felder, we have Joanna Lopez, thank you so much, Joanna. Ana Escamani, we had the mayor. Oh, we have the incredible Senator Geraldine Thompson. We're excited to see her be reelected. We got Senator Victor Torres right here, and Carmen Torres, who's going to be taking that seat, which we're excited about. Future school board member Stephanie Vanos. And we have so many amazing organizers, elected officials. I got my parents here too, my mom and dad. I gotta give it up to them. And I just want to thank IBEW 606 for letting us be in this hall. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our labor leaders and labor organizers who are here today, who have supported me. And thank you to the organizers, volunteers, and advocates. So let me tell y'all, the last year and a half of my life has felt like 10 years. But this service has been the honor of my life. I mean, I get to represent my home. I get to represent where I was born and raised, and it's meant the world. And when I first decided to run for Congress, many people didn't believe I could win. And not just that, but there were folks who, even after I won, didn't think we'd be able to be productive, especially because I'm a young person. Well, a year and a half later, I'm proud to say, we proved them wrong. Yeah. From constituent services to passing legislation to working as a team player here locally to build power together, I'm proud of the work that our office has done and the campaign that we've done. And I'm ecstatic to be here today to announce that I am running for re-election. And I just want everybody to know, I truly believe that elected offices do not belong to any one person. Incumbency is not something to take for granted. This seat is not the Maxwell Frost seat. It's the seat of the people of the 10th Congressional District. But given the advocacy, investment, and results of our work, I know that not just me, but my entire team, we are ready to continue to deliver for another 2 years. Yeah. See, I'm running for re-election because despite the chaos in Washington, D.C., our office has been taking care of one of our most important responsibilities, which are constituent services. Our team has built one of the best congressional constituent services operations in the nation, and we did that by assembling a team that hit the ground running, returning over $2 million over the last year to people in our district that they rightfully earned. But we knew that it's not just about the people who call into our office, but how do we go out into the community and meet people where they're at? And so whether it was our Bithlo satellite office that goes out there to meet people where they're at, I'll tell you a quick story. We had a gentleman who walked into that office that's at a community center to print some papers out. He saw our booth there with one of our constituent advocates and inquired about what it was. He submitted a form with us, and we found out that he was owed a lot of money from the Social Security Administration. Within a few weeks, he received $40,000 of money he owed. And that is constituent services. That's the work we're proud to do. We're proud of our UCF satellite office that we launched. So we can be there to help students who might not have the ability to get transportation to come over to our office in downtown Orlando. I'm running for re-election because we've been effective in both bringing back money to the district, but also introducing and passing key legislation. This is the most unproductive Congress since the Great Depression. But despite that, we have still gotten things done. Because when you elect an organizer, we don't take no for an answer. Despite our divisive Congress, I have 3 pieces of bipartisan legislation, and 2 of them have passed the House. Just last week, my Fixing Gaps in Hurricane Preparedness Act passed the House of Representatives as part of the Weather Act just in time for hurricane season. And this legislation is going to make sure that whether you're a senior or someone with a disability or someone who doesn't speak English, that you're valued and prioritized for hurricane preparedness. We assessed key issues in our district and wrote legislation to fix it. A couple of months ago, I received an award from the Low Income Housing Coalition for my End Junk Fees for Renters Act. We know rent is too damn high. And for those who complain about houselessness, we have to know that the rise in rent has a direct correlation to those who become unsheltered and unhoused. And so if we want to fix this crisis, we need more housing. We need more affordable housing, and we need strict consumer protections, and that's what my bill does. Eliminate credit scores and eliminate junk fees, which are fueling this housing crisis. And we've worked closely with the Biden administration to deliver, despite a Congress that refuses to do anything to save lives, and pass legislation to end gun violence. Yes. We live in a country where we lose over 100 lives a day due to gun violence. For our parents out there, if God forbid you were to lose your child before the age of 18, the most likely reason in the United States of America right now is because of a bullet. I think that's unacceptable. And that's why I introduced, and it was said a few times, my first bill was to create a federal office of gun violence prevention, because I believe an everyday issue is going to require everyday work. Yep. And now, for the first time in our country's history, I was proud to work with the Biden administration that used my bill as the framework to create the first ever federal office of gun violence prevention that is saving lives. And not just that, but they are fighting to get money down to our communities. We worked with them to secure $1.5 million to continue the City of Orlando's Community Violence Intervention Program, which, by the way, since its launch in the communities it's operating in, homicides have gone down. Gun violence have gone down. We also secured $750,000 to create a headquarters for community violence intervention, because we believe that work needs to be valued and funded, and we're not done yet. We've also worked on leveraging appropriations and community project funding to further our priorities. I know in a Republican Congress right now it's going to be difficult to pass the transformational legislation we need to fix housing, to make sure we have funds for transportation, to end gun violence. But we wanted to use the appropriations process and the funding process to still further that here in Orlando. And so whether it was over $4 million we secured for affordable housing for the historic town of Eatonville, or the $750,000 that we secured for affordable housing in Bithlo, a place that's oftentimes neglected, or over $1 million for Links, so that way, despite the petty tax failing last year, we still can get money back. We have to use every opportunity. Yeah, use the bus. We have to use every opportunity we have to further our priorities with funding. And the last reason why I'm running for re-election, well, the last I'll say today, because I don't want to take all the time, is because our state is in grave danger. Yes. We have a far right-wing, white nationalist movement in this state that is looking to leaders like our own governor for energy, and direction. DeSantis and his cronies are fighting to take away our rights, from the right to bodily autonomy to the right to learn real history, from the right to be who you are and love who you love, to the right to live in our communities free of gun violence. They're coming for our unions because they know that a strong working class movement is a danger to their corporate profits and greed. And they are coming for immigrants because our communities look different and they see diversity as a threat. But what they don't know is that our movement is stronger than ever. We will codify abortion rights in the state of Florida. We will pass adult use marijuana in the state of Florida. We will break the Republican supermajority in Tallahassee. And I believe as an elected official, it is my duty, it is part of my job description to do everything I can to help us win, because it's not the Maxwell Frost show, it's about all of us. So whether it's continuing our year-round organizing program where we help support other candidates like many of us did to help make sure that we elected Tom Keene, or whether it's finding creative ways to support essential organizations like our annual Mad Soul Music and Arts Festival that brought 3,500 people to Lock Haven Park and raised $40,000 for 4 important organizations, I realize that the success of my office is conditional on the success of our movement and our state. And so I think we've shown people what is possible when you have people power and an organizer in elected office. And so I want to thank Florida's 10th Congressional District for giving me what I like to call borrowed power. And now I humbly ask for the opportunity to serve for another 2 years because we got a lot of work to do. We got to end gun violence. Oh.
Give him some water. Water. Excuse me.
He told me that there was too much heat coming from the speech. So no. But either way, I'm gonna kind of reread my last part here. Like I was saying, the success of this office is conditional on the success of Central Florida and the success of our movement and having everybody come together. And so that is why I'm excited to announce my campaign for re-election, and I humbly ask for the opportunity to serve for another 2 years. And with that, we'll do some questions, if anyone has any questions. All right. I don't have an update, but he was conscious, and I think he's good. But I'm going to leave it to his office to give any updates or anything. Well, oh yes.
Your primary opponent a couple of days ago criticized that since you've been in Congress, you haven't passed individual bills, just gotten things into larger legislative packages, and that he inferred that you were more interested in having fun with this job than with actually representing.
Yes, my primary opponent, yes, who decided to run because he invited me to something while we were having a meeting, and I couldn't make it because we have a schedule, and then he filed a few days later, so that's not quite serious. But what I'll say is this. This is how the legislative process works, for people who don't know. There are many different ways to get bills passed and achieved. We are in the most unproductive Congress since the Great Depression. Usually a Congress will pass anywhere between 350 to 550 pieces of legislation. I think we're at 70 right now, and we're almost done. So there's not a lot of bills that are even getting to the floor because of the Republican dysfunction. And so despite that, because our office is nimble and we have experience in our office and new ways of thinking, we've been able to still get 2 of our bills enacted and passed. The Fixing Gaps in Hurricane Preparedness Act, being part of the Weather Act, was a huge win, a bipartisan win that I worked with Daniel Webster on. And the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, if that bill came to the floor today, it would not pass because the Republicans in Congress do not want to pass anything having to do with gun violence prevention. So Perhaps my opponent might give up at that point, but I didn't. And I worked closely with the Biden administration and gun violence prevention groups, and we circumvented Congress because of their inaction and got it anyways, and it's saving lives here in Central Florida. So I would say that's pretty productive, and we're having fun while we do it at the same time. Thank you. Our top priority, I believe we're going to have a Democratic majority. Hopefully we'll re-elect the president and keep the Senate. And we have to work fast. I've had great conversations with Leader Jeffries, and he's committed to our caucus that the first votes that we will focus on will do with voting rights and democracy, which are going to be the key to unlock action on everything. We got to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. And that's going to help preempt a lot of these horrible subversions of democracy we see in Florida, where it's illegal to give someone a water bottle in the line to vote. And so we're going to focus on issues of democracy straight up, and then after that, we need to pass an assault weapons ban. We need to ensure that we pass legislation to incentivize more housing, affordable housing and transportation. We need to pass legislation that's going to fight the climate crisis, the existential threat of our generation. So there's a lot on the list to get done, especially with the Democratic majority, and I feel very confident that a lot of our North Star bills that we've put forward thus far, that we'll be able to get them passed next year, which we're excited about. I'll tell you another legislative victory that kind of went under the radar is a month after we got the Office of Gun Violence Prevention started, Marjorie Taylor Greene put up an amendment on the House floor to defund the office. We were kind of worried about this because we're in a Republican majority. They could defund it if they wanted to. We found out with a few hours to spare, and I immediately went to more moderate Republicans with talking points and to tell them about how important this office is. When that vote happened, not only did we save the office, but we saved the office with 7 Republican votes, which just goes to show that making those relationships and working fast and having a team that can catch these things, that's what we've built. And so we're ready to protect what we've done and build upon it too. Yeah. Any other questions? Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. It's an honor to run for re-election. Let's get it done. Oh, yeah, let's do a group photo. And again, thank you, IBEW 606.